Hello, guys. How are ya? Hey, Brian Coward. Haven't seen you are you upstairs or are you at home? You're at home. Okay, I see you're at home. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. How's it going, bud? You're on mute.
You talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on, my friend?
How you doing?
Doing great. So we got the Nerd Clan. We're gonna all take over SEO, guys, together. Promise you.
Do you know when they're going to have the paid social ads for Google on Command?
Paid social ads on Google on Command. Good question. I'll find out for you. I know they were working on it and I haven't seen anything on it. So let me find out.
Okay, because that would actually augment what you're going to be talking about today, I think, nicely.
You got it. I'm making a note. Okay, so just know, you guys, I'm learning as fast as I can about all of this, because this is a lot of crazy change going on in the world with basically with the SEO race. Let's call it the SEO race. And I just want to just kind of back up a little and just give you a couple things to write down, like in terms of statistics of what's going on. And if any of you have any good intel, because I know Stefan, you do, and you want to share it too, this is as much interaction, the better. But I want you to know that I'm taking about 4 different classes right now, specifically on this. And I'm reading 1 Million Followers, which is a really great book. It's 1 million followers basically in 30 days. And Brendan Kane, actually, Gary Keller has a class with Brendan for us next week, because this is really good stuff. You can see all the notes I took. So if any of you need a good Audible or book to read, this is a good one right now. It's very, very helpful in you guys getting a lot of followers, but you'll read, when you read in this, and I guess if you listen to what Stefan and I talked about this morning, it's not really about getting the followers, it's keeping followers that matters, and you know what you're giving of content. And so I'm going to dive into that in a minute, but I just want to give you a few notes worth writing down about where things are headed. Now, what's interesting right now is if you look at anything real estate related, any advice any of our NAR or MLS is giving us is really to dive into video in real estate right now. And a lot of us have tiptoed into it or thought of doing it and just didn't pull the trigger. So now is the time. Now is the time, you guys, you actually go ahead and do it. So here's just a few notes I want to give you from Mega Camp and from when Gary Keller introduced us to Brendan and some of the things he shared. Since COVID, Facebook and YouTube have both about 1 billion users a month. 2 billion. YouTube was usually about 1 million. YouTube has now surpassed Google and Facebook in unique monthly users since COVID. And a lot of people are like how-tos, you know, they're going to YouTube. I mean, some of it is millennial kids and younger kids just watching shows on YouTube as well. I get that because of COVID. Yet when you research what they're sharing, Google and Facebook gave us these statistics. So this is from Google. Since COVID, YouTube has doubled its presence, its monthly unique visitors, and both on Google and YouTube, there is a 400% increase in 3 really important phrases that you start using in anything that you describe digitally. So if you go in and make a video or a post or whatever, keywords that you now want to start adding in, even if they don't really match what you're doing, are the words virtual, digital, and contactless. Contactless. Like safe, safe during COVID, contactless, sale. And so what they're suggesting you do is you give yourself an extreme makeover. Okay. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Like you literally look at your email signature, your website, your Facebook, everywhere that you exist, and ask yourself 2 questions. Are you, first of all, showing that you can do these things? What you do in real estate, are you showing that you can do that digitally, virtually, and in a contactless way that would be safe for me? So I want you to go back and look at your stuff, like your signature, email signature, everything you have, you guys, going out. Does it show that you have an alternative, or that you're ready to go in that sense? And this is why 38% of the general public said they will not be comfortable even going out in public for another 12 to 18 months. That's a lot of people. And yet we don't see it ever going back to what it was. It's, we maybe were, let's say 20% or 25% digital, or, like with DocuSign and some things like that, right? You guys had some element of that in your business before COVID. And then when COVID hit, you went like 90%, digital or virtual, as little as possible as interaction. And what we're seeing is like, you're now 75% digital, 25% physical. And we estimate that will probably settle in somewhere between 75% digital and 50% digital, but people are not going to go back to what it was. So you guys have a chance, because the algorithms just changed, to actually go in and either change what you had. So I literally go into your videos, everything that you have, and make sure you're adding those phrases in so that people can, sorry, I just had to mute that person. So people can see that you can do that. That's really that important. So if you have content, you want to go in and kind of go back in and add those words in, because people are searching those phrases and you will come up in those things. So you want to make sure that you're using virtual, digital, buy online, virtual tours, virtual showing, virtual real estate transaction, COVID safe transaction. Kind of those keywords are going to be really stickiness and all that. So definitely make note of that, because that's going to be pretty critical in everything that you kind of move forward with. So just to give you some perspective on that, on Google, this is Google, 15 million searches a month with unique viewers have those keywords in it. Think about that. That's a lot of people, isn't it? So people, the #1 search on Google that's real estate related right now is how to buy a home safely during COVID. So if you were to kind of choose a video to make, how to buy a home safe during COVID would be a really good one, right? So think about that. So just kind of put perspective in place. People are looking for virtual tours, 3D tours, tour led by agent, virtual open house, virtual tours, and digital and contactless. Buy online was kind of down there, but buy online also hit that. So what you could do, if for those of you that already have content, is kind of go back and kind of edit it and kind of push this through, and you'll instantly get a major boost in your SEO and your looks and your views on everything. I did that about 8 weeks ago. It's 7 or 8 weeks ago now. I'd have to double check the actual day I did it, right around there though. And yet if you look at my YouTube views, they're up today 158% from a week ago even. And I haven't done anything. All I did was go back to what I had and I added some of those keywords in, and all my stuff is popping up. Now, that's not really a great approach. It's just me changing what I had so I get more views. What you really want to do is think, how are you going to be creating video in the future where you are sharing with people that you can help them in this way? That would be my question to you. Like, what videos could you put together and all that? But yet we're also seeing that 50% of consumers are now choosing a new brand based on the fact that they know that it's COVID safe to work with that person. So if I'm a friend of yours, here's my question to you. If I'm a friend of yours and I maybe even worked with you in the past, Have you approached your database to say, hey guys, just want to let you know that I have now evolved so that I can do the entire real estate transaction contact list. And most of it will be done virtually and digitally. Have you done that? So has anybody done that? Anyone willing to share? Okay, no one has. So that's opportunity for us, is it not? So that would be, something to think about is going and editing what you already have, and then putting together maybe a plan or strategy on what videos you should probably start doing. So action items I think of from email signature, website, I would, and if you have a YouTube channel, if you have content, I would go in and give them a makeover and be adding in keywords. Any questions on that so far? Because it's basically a market share grab and an SEO grab right now. Just think everyone that's created all these videos in the past, they're not really ahead of you any longer. The playing field has been leveled, in other words. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Okay. Now I'm trying to switch to my other camera and it's not working. So I have a whole visual over here, so I'll just go through it. So here are the exercise items I would challenge you to do, because Facebook, someone's got really a lot of noise. I'm trying to figure out who it is. Facebook, I can't tell who it is. So if you could mute yourself if you're in a loud spot, I appreciate it. Facebook also went on to say that they've also changed a lot of what they're doing. And with our partnership with Facebook, they're really giving us a lot of intel that is an advantage of ours. So for the time being, we have a really unfair advantage with the Facebook ads. And I know several of you are using it. So if you're doing Facebook ads, kind of give me a wave so I can kind of see who's doing Facebook ads. Eric, I know you are. Okay. We're going to continue with that relationship, but we actually have a true partnership with Google and Facebook. So they've chosen Keller Williams as their real estate company to partner with. So we also are going to have more products coming out from Google and Facebook. And Erica just asked me when Google ads are going to be coming out. I'm not sure. I'll find out for you guys, but the Facebook ads are ready to go already. And we're seeing a huge return on those. So I just want to screen share kind of what the formula is on those ads. So this is, first of all, can you guys see my screen? Can I get a thumbs up from somebody?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll zoom in so we can actually see. So this is the, let me get rid of our heads here so we can see a little better. Okay, so this is basically the formula for the Keller Williams Command leads with Facebook. If you spend about $100 a month, you should be getting about 50 leads per month. That is actually, you could get up as much as 100, but if you're not getting at least 50, your ad is ineffective. So just know that you shouldn't spend more than $2 on any of these leads. So hypothetically, if you did $100 a month spend, that would be $1,200 per month, or about 600 leads. And frankly, we're getting leads for less than $1 in many cases. I know we're running an ad right now. We've got leads for coming in at 36 cents a piece. So if you really are over $2, we want to help you. Okay. So we want to look at your ads and maybe give you some feedback and give you some input so that you're getting the maximum number of leads that you can. So in this example, I doubled the cost because I love to give examples as super hyper conservative. However, I'm seeing people get leads, 62 cents and 84 cents and some really low ones as well. So just know if you're doing any of these ads, I want to almost have an intervention with you if you're not hitting those numbers. Now we've also proven that this program is scalable. So we've got several agents that are spending more than $100 to get the number of leads they need to replace whatever they're trying to replace. What I mean by that is Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever lead source you might be buying. So some teams have a lot of pressure on themselves to be able to provide, hundreds of leads a month. Just know we've proven that this is completely scalable. So in this example, I'm picking on Tyler because I've been studying him the most. I'll share my screen again. Tyler is catching over 1,000 leads per month for his team. And in 4 months' time, he was able to take his spend from Zillow down to 0 while ramping up his leads so that he could keep enough leads for his team. So if any of you are in that pressure point, know that this is scalable. However, it takes a few months to get there. So June, I know you're on. This is to you for value proposition. I'm going to go into the ISA model next just to show how people are doing this. But in this example, say you just spend $100 a month, because I think that's doable for most people. We just have to stop going to Starbucks, right? 600 leads. 600 leads should average about 150 conversations. You should get about a 25% conversation ratio. And that's assuming you're actually touching these leads and actually interacting with them with a smart plan. And the smart plan that I'm going to recommend is Tyler's, because it's working really well, and you can just copy it and just change a few things and use it as your own. If you go look at Tyler's smart plan, I don't know if that's feedback from me or somebody else, and I apologize if it's me. I don't think it is. But let me just jump into Command and show you this, because not all of you know where all this is. If you go into Command and you log in, under Smart Plans, they already have the best smart plans for people doing this already saved for you. So you go into Smart Plans and you go into Library. And under here are all these top rated smart plans. These are agents that have been beta testing for a while. You can also search. So just search Tyler. I think it's Shield. I can't remember if it's Shield or Shields. Let's see. Here he is. Tyler Shields, plural. You just add this smart plan to yours, and you could name it Jess's Facebook follow-up, you know, whatever you want to name it, and hit download. When you go back into your smart plans, so let's go back into smart plans, it's going to show up right here. Now, warning, if you look and you hover, you can see what he's saying. And you'll look, he has basically a bunch of questions going out to the lead. That is the most effective way to start a conversation with one of these leads, because people have a tendency to answer a question if you ask it, don't they? Right. It's like they fill in the blank. And so when you look, you just have to automate this to be yours, because like in this one, it says, hi, contact first name, comma, Tyler here. Well,
Hey, Jessica, your screen share didn't work.
oh, shoot. Thank you for telling me. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Let me back up a little bit. So when you went into Library, you went and searched his name by author name. There it is. Hit add to smart plan, and it'll pop up in your library and you can rename it. By hovering over it, you can see the different elements and what he says. You'll see that he references his website and things. So don't forget to click on the pencil and edit these steps so it says your website, not Tyler. So literally all you have to do is read through these, and anywhere that he has his own website, you're just going to go in and change it to be, you know, juneconnell.com or, you know, whatever your name. And then once you've gone through and saved all these, don't forget to hit save up here and you are good to go. You can literally just put those Facebook leads that are coming in on that conversion plan, and his conversion is somewhere between 7.5% and 10% right now. So what you'll see is, let's just say you get 50 leads or 60 leads or 100 leads a month in. Month one will be really wimpy. You're going to have very little conversation going. And then month two, you're going to start having more and more conversations. And by month 3 and 4, that's where we're seeing that 5 to 7.5% conversion. And the conversations are starting because these are top of funnel leads. So don't get creative. Do what works. Just go rip off what Tyler's doing. He's got one of the highest conversions in the country. And those of us that have been trying to be creative on our own are not having that type of conversion. So unless you're an established internet lead generator, I would challenge you not to do your own thing. Go just do what he's doing because it's working. Now, if I go back into here, and I'll take questions in 1 second to make sure you guys understand this. It's very simple, and it basically just asks lots of questions of the consumer and offers a lot of value along the way. So it's not offensive by any means, but what it's doing is it's getting people to start interacting. So if we go back to kind of the formula, and I'm going to go over this formula, and then I'm going to dive into a little bit more after I take some of your questions if you have any. Let me go back to my Word document that I had here. Just to kind of do the math on this, if you get 600 leads per year, now some of you could just choose to do 600 leads a month if you want. You're going to have about 150 conversations that actually are created. Now, you're not going to delete the rest of the people in your database that came in for Facebook ads. You're just going to put them on like a 36 touch and treat them like someone that maybe went to an open house or something. And I want to remind you, the contacts that you're getting are so amazing, because these are people that in the last 24 hours, thanks to Facebook stalking, kind of the creepy part of Facebook, we know they've been on Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or have been searching like some of the most important words around real estate on Google. And you think about anything you guys are doing right now for lead gen, think about that. Like, what else are you guys doing for lead gen right now? Let me hear from a couple of you. What do you guys do besides this?
Do
Still
some
doing
open houses.
Open houses. Okay, we'll pick on open houses. So a good open house, whoever was speaking, I couldn't see who was speaking about open houses. What is a good open house? Like if you did an open house this weekend and you said, Jess, that was a great open house. How many people did you talk to? How many contact informations did you get? How many maybe appointments did you get? Talk to me about that. What would make you happy?
10, 6.
6?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you be happy if you had 6 real conversations about real estate? That'd be like
Yeah.
a home run, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you think about it, with this, you're getting in front of people that are acting like those 6 people. And you're getting their first name, last name, email address, cell phone, without even doing an open house. And this can be happening all the time. So I certainly think this is something that I could get, if I could get everyone to do this, I would, because this is really the lead generation of the future, you guys. You're just kind of pioneering it. And when you run the numbers and you look at the numbers, 600 conversation or 600 leads coming in, how many open houses would you have to do in a year to do that? I mean, right?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
wouldn't be able to scale it that way.
You can't scale it that way. Hey there. You can't scale it that way because it's impossible. I mean, you would just have to be at an open house like one of those people that sit in a model every day of your life, right? And hope that in a year you did that. So just remember, this is something that I would hope everyone adds into their business. I don't think it's the only way to do business. And you run the numbers, 150 conversations times Tyler's conversion. Now, why I'm showing this as 7, 5, and 3 is month 2, Tyler said he was at about a 3% conversion. And then by month 4, he went to 5, and now he's at 7. And now he says he's at 10.5. So what's happening is he's got all those leads growing, and the lead funnel's growing and growing and growing, right? And he's just got more and more people in there. So his conversion's going up and up and up, because again, you can't change people's situation or their timeline. It is what it is. And so he thinks he can get it up to 20% conversion. So we'll see how he does. But
probably his smart campaigns, is that a direct result of his smart campaigns working? 3, 5, 7 is nurturing of his farm.
Well, he said that he's had the smart campaigns going the same this whole time. So he hasn't really changed his smart plan, but his background, if you get to know Tyler, is he used to sell us Zillow leads. So he understands how to convert, and it's conversation and questions. and time on task. So he's just set it up as a smart plan. So go rip off his. He did all the experimenting already to prove this out. Don't try to get creative and do your own thing. If anything, I'm seeing agents do that and then they're not having any conversion. But you know, in this scenario, spending a whole whopping $100 a month, you could easily get 10 closings a year, you know, just doing what he's doing. Now, I just assumed your average commission, that's, you know, on the low end at 3% conversion, that's an extra $40,000 of gross commission income in trade for $1,200. That's if you really are kind of half-heartedly doing this by yourself, no ISA, you know, run the smart plan, you know, spend a little bit of time every day working on this. Say you only do 3% conversion, that's still an extra $40,000 of gross commission income in trade of $1,200. Or if you really dial it in, you could be in the six-figure realm for $1,200. Who would make that trade?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you're saying, Jessica, give me 1,200, I'll give you 40,000.
Or 100. Now, truth be told, what I've discovered is you guys hate following up with leads. Who else, right? It's so true. We are so bad. I mean, like, you guys can have leads coming at you and you're like, yeah, I don't feel like it. It's so funny. But this, I want you to know this is the future, you guys. And so the more you choose to dial this in, I'm not saying you're sitting in front of your computer for 4 hours a day doing this, but you definitely need about an hour a day doing this, or you've got to leverage it out. So I'm going to give you a couple options. So for those of you that are single agent, you're not on a team, no one else is there to help you, and you're just doing this every day, you've got to work your leads just like you would any lead. You can't get out of that, guys. I mean, you still need to communicate with people. And yet I'm going to challenge the team owners to really consider either, you got three choices. You can either do the smart plan with you, or a smart plan with an ISA, or a smart plan with a company that just nurtures your lead. I'm going to give you three options. And because you all are different people and you all have different time and money and all that. If I was a single agent, I would develop a budget, an ad spend, and I would go all in on this. And for those of you partnered with a great lender friend or whatever, many of the lenders are paying for the leads, paying for the ads, or paying for half of them to be able to work the leads too. So there's a lot of creative ways to do this. So it's not all on you, but if you're not going to respond to these leads and you're not going to do anything with them, don't do this. That's a waste of money. And yet go use Tyler Shields' plan. I got to put a plural in here now that I know his last name Shields. Tyler Shields' plan. Don't create your own. Do not invent this. We've already got it proved out. Follow what works. And then frankly, is Tyler's better than all of us. He really is. And yet he just gave you his plan. So that's really cool that you have it. So use it. Everybody that's been kind of geeking out with me on these Facebook ads that has tried to do their own have not gotten close to his conversion. And so I'm going to challenge you, instead of you getting creative, just use his plan and just commit for the rest of the year that you're just going to work his plan and you're not going to get creative, because he was a great example. He said he didn't have 10+% conversion in the beginning. He had 3%, and it just keeps multiplying on top of itself. Now, for those of you that have the ability, Cyber Backers is through Maps, and they're trained ISAs that have, they spend 8 hours a day on the telephone for you. And for $2,000 a month, they'll set you about 20 appointments. And they will also nurture your leads to bring you to a 5 to 10% conversion on these leads. So the maximum cost you could have out of your pocket if you went 100% all in on this would be about $2,000 a month, or $24,000 a year. But if you're able to get to the 100,000 mark, that's kind of moot. Now, what I am seeing are some of our agents are splitting a cyber, they call it cyber producers, because they're actually doing circle prospecting, calling expireds, calling whatever you don't want to call, and they're nurturing your leads. And I think this is a really smart plan for some of these teams, because you're able to create leads for your team And truth be told, many of you just aren't following up like you need to be. So if you're not going to follow up, either don't do this or do this in a way that someone's responding to these leads. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Believe it or not, that's our hardest thing, is not bringing the leads in. It's getting you guys to actually deal with them. It's true. It's kind of funny, isn't it?
Tough industry if you're not following up on your leads in this industry.
Yeah. Now, there are plenty of young talent. I shouldn't say young talent, new talent coming into the office that would love opportunity with leads. And so for those of you that want a role model, calling these leads and nurturing these leads and, you know, coming up with some freelancing agreement with some of these agents that have a lot of time on their hands that are just getting started, you can do that. You can do that. I don't know if it's going to be as effective as what Tyler's doing yet. I want you to know these Facebook ads are the real deal. So when Facebook was talking to us about our relationship, the type of intel they're giving us is why they're on the news with the Department of Justice right now. True. So if you've watched the news in the last 48 hours, Google and Facebook are on the hot seat. So meanwhile, of you collecting all these people, I would collect as many people as possible right now, you guys, through these Facebook ads, because whatever you're doing for lead generation doesn't compete. You know, if you think about it, it's just not scalable enough. I don't care how good of a networker you are. And COVID's really made networking and open houses tough, hasn't it? I don't care how good you are with people collecting or how many people you know. In a couple $1,000s of Facebook ads, I could beat your database in a heartbeat. True, right? It's true. And they're people that are acting like buyers or sellers. So if I was you, I'd collect as many people as possible right now. I would just go on the Tyler Shield program. I would spend 1 to 2 hours a day nurturing and serving those leads properly so that you got to at least a 5 or 7% conversion. And I would take some of that money and I would reinvest it in video. That's really it. I mean, Stefan, do you want to add anything to that? I mean, you know so much about all of this. Would you agree? I mean, if you wouldn't mind, just share a little bit. You're like 3 days in with us as one of our new Keller Williams team members. I don't want to put you totally on the spot, but I kind of am. Would you add anything to that?
Yeah, so I may not know a lot about real estate yet, but I do know a lot about branding and marketing and data and everything. And I just wanted to add what you said. You mentioned like check on your signatures and check on all your accounts. What's important is that you are a brand and the brand is you. So your signature should match. All the fonts should be the same. You cannot have a prom picture from 3 years ago on your Facebook.
Glamour shots. No glamour shots.
Yeah, and then have something else on Instagram because that's super confusing to a consumer, right?
Yeah,
the
it doesn't look the same.
Yeah, the brand should follow and flow through all those platforms. And then
and with that, remember, if you're going to edit it, you should add the word, I can help you buy a home virtually, digitally, contactless, like that's going to be in everything.
Yeah, so, and the reason why this is so important is YouTube cares about 2 things, right? Well, 3 things, but 2 things that they care about you is A, what is the hang time that people have on your page? And B, what is your click-through rate? So hang time is how long does somebody spend on your video watching it, and click-through rate is how fast are they clicking through it. And the reason why that's so important to YouTube is they're selling advertisements. They're in the business of advertisement, and that's it. So if somebody watches your video longer, they sell more advertisement. The more people come to your page, they sell more advertisement. The reason why these words like virtual and contactless are so important is because it's becoming more and more important that the content that you create have to match those words. So you cannot create content about Safety Harbor and put in there Tampa and things that are just not directly tying in with Safety Harbor. And it's really important because what it does is it's going to bring the wrong consumer to your page. And then your click-through rate will be a fast click-through rate. And then YouTube will not take your video and recommend it to other people. And that's why that's so important. And it comes full circle back around and into their algorithm.
Yep. It's really that is so true. And you know, the thing is, you think about Zillow. Zillow didn't really exist until about 10 years ago. And now Zillow has taken over our industry and is trying to take us out. Facebook and Google don't want our business. So that's why it's a safe partnership. But we have a moment in time where we have Facebook and Google as our singular partners. The only partnership they have in real estate is us, and they're giving us all these unfair advantages. Now, the fact they're on the news means things are going to change. So I want you to look at this as two-part. It's not only go grab as many people as possible that have interest in real estate that are giving you your first name, last name, email, cell phone, because that is really good data, isn't it? Like, even if you just look at the data you just got, your database just went from, you're like Christmas card list, some friends you hang out with, a few people you met at open houses, to, wow, I just doubled my database in 4 months with people that seem interested in real estate. That's impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I'm in the hot seat is because I've used it a million times because it's easier. You use your Facebook and your Google account to log into other things, right? It's login authentication. And the data is so unique to you as a user. It doesn't have to be scrubbed. It's so accurate directly from them. That's why they're in a hot seat, because they know so much about you, and they market to other people and they take your information. And that is the reason why in their hot seat, because that consumer data is so specific to you that Congress feels like, hey, this is stuff that we have to protect. And at the moment, or still right now, you have full access to it. I was born in Germany, and in Germany, those rules are very, very different for Facebook and Google. So if you're a German company, you don't get that same data that you have access to as an American company.
Yeah. So I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like 2021, there may be some changes to what Facebook and Google are doing, which we won't have access like we do. So I feel like run at this, you guys.
This is from Google.
Oh, listen, Google's listening to me and talking to me. That's tricky. There you go. They're listening to us. They got us, guys. But here's the thing is, you got this moment in time, run at it. Even if you partner with other people that are helping you with your marketing budget, who gives a rip? If you've got a great lender friend, instead of buying Zillow leads in the past, where they spent $200 a month with you on a zip code and you got maybe 4 phone calls and maybe you got a deal going or not, what if you took that $200 and you made it into 100 new contacts this month? That's what I'm talking about. And the second part, which is really what we're talking about today, and that's creating your following and your community. So let's just imagine that we have till the end of this year, or we have the end of 2021, where Google and Facebook are still being able to give this data to partners like Keller Williams. When that day ends, because it probably will, or it will change and it won't be as good of data, you want to be standing there with your consistent brand, like Stefan had mentioned, your consistent brand throughout, acknowledging that you're a real estate agent of the future that does things virtually, digitally, and contactless. So you really have to give yourself an extreme makeover from literally your email signature and onto all social platforms, so that your brand matches, but that you're adding those things in. Now, who here gets a headache just thinking about that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I have a company lined up. We're just working out some details for about $100. They'll do YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, and I think one other thing for you, $100. So they interview you to pull what needs to be pulled through, and they're assuming you have a good photography, good photography and stuff. They're not doing your photography and everything, but what they're doing is pulling your brand through. So we have photographers lined up here at the office. You can maybe get a new picture if you need it. So if you need a little work done before you get your extreme makeover, I do have some companies lined up that'll do it for about $100. So I don't know about you, I would pay $100 all day long to have all that done for me. So if you are interested in that, shoot me an email, jessicafox@kw.com, about extreme makeover. Put extreme makeover, I need it, I want it, and I'll connect you with that company, and we'll do first come, first serve. Now, if you have the picture that's the glamour shot, and then you've got this other picture here and another picture there, and you really need to give yourself a new package with a more current photo, Kevin has photo day lined up. And we do it all the time in the office if you can't do it for yourself. So just know that those things are important, and yet you're gonna pepper in what 3 phrases? Digital, virtual, contactless, because that's what people are typing in and you want to be the one to pop up, don't you? Yeah. Okay, so then after you've given yourself somewhat of an extreme makeover, you don't really have to touch that again unless you change your haircut or change your phone number, right? So it's kind of one of those things you're gonna have to do maybe once every 5 or so years just to make sure you look current. What I really want you to get into is creating a community. So after reading most of 1 million followers and learning a lot, what I learned most of all, it's about the quality of your content. And if we think about, let's just assume I'm a current normal buyer or seller and I live out of state, I live in New Jersey, I want to be in Florida. Do you think there's a few people that live in New Jersey or on the East Coast that are moving to Florida? In fact, some of you, here's a hint, are doing Facebook ads targeting those people specifically and having lots of success. So just want to remind you that there's a lot of ways to bring these people in. And yet when you look at what Google and Facebook are telling us is those folks are searching on YouTube more than Google, how to buy a home safely during COVID, how to sell a home safe during COVID. And they're searching keywords like contactless, real estate transactions, digital, virtual, they're using those words. So if you were to build a couple videos of content, I would really get hyper-focused in sharing how you can help them buy or sell safely during COVID. I mean, those are the key words all in one. And yet, when you look at YouTube, I've got to just quick bring up one thing for you guys. I wrote down the new algorithm that Brennan shared with us, and I'm just looking for it. I think this is it. Just want to make sure I got the right thing. Oh, shoot. 1 second here. I'm not sharing properly. Yeah. Okay. And I will put this in the chat. These are my cliff notes from about 6 hours of training. This is the new YouTube algorithm. And lots of ideas here, but I want to get to the meat of this. There is a formula because they do not like tag stuffing anymore. And so I just want to make sure, am I sharing this? You guys got it. Yep, you got it right in front of you. So when you do a description on YouTube, and I'm just going to not share this for a second. I'm just going to show you an example first. I'll just go to my YouTube channel real quick and show you. Now, I got to tell you, I kind of was skeptical about this because I'm like, really? I got to do all this work? And it took me a couple hours to do all this.
I have a Post-it note on my mirror in the bathroom. I usually get ready and it says, compared to.
That's my website. Okay, so here, can you guys see my YouTube channel? Anybody? I can't see your faces. Can you guys see my YouTube channel?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Got it.
Okay, so they've made this really easy for us. But if you look at all my videos, I have way more views than I did ever before. And I just made a few changes. And it's all under settings. And it's really easy to do. And if you just sit down, either hire it out if you don't want to do it. But if you just sit down and do it, I have to log in again. It's making me log in. Give me 1 sec. It's you set this up once, you guys, and you don't have to do much more. So I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, this seems like so much work, because it's not. I was actually quite surprised. So under settings, when you go into your YouTube channel or customize your channel, you go in here and you basically just write out what you want your tags to be and your keywords one time. So if you go under my settings here, under channel, here are my keywords. Okay, and you see COVID real estate sales, virtual home tours, digital home tours, contactless home tours, virtual open house, digital open house. See what I did? That's all I had to add. So how much time do you think that took me? 5 minutes maybe? And then if you go under advanced, oh, that's not it. You go under upload defaults. This is where I wrote kind of what I want my keywords to be all the time. And look at What do I have tagged? Virtual digital real estate consultation, virtual digital COVID safe open house. See how I stuffed these words at the bottom? And I ended with, you can buy or sell a home contactless if you would benefit. You just write this one time and paste this in there. And every time you go to do a new video, like you upload a new video and you load it up, all of that just gets brought in magically. And then all you really need to do is change maybe the top paragraph or add a paragraph at the top. So if I go into my analytics, just to give you some proof on this, you guys, look at this. In the last 28 days, I am up another 1,570 unique viewers.
That's amazing. Huge.
Isn't that like when you look at that? I mean, and I'm like, and just so you guys know, I mean, I've been on, so if you go to lifetime of my YouTube channel, I apparently was not very popular in the beginning. And you know what's funny is if you look, that's when I posted the most videos. Now look at me. And all I did, you guys, was do what's on this sheet. And it's all in settings. It really is. Now, I still need to make videos. So I'm going to give you guys all this so you can read through it and go from this. But the next 2 team meetings I do, my first 2 team meetings in November, because we have, you know, we're pretty much there. The first 2 team meetings in November, I'm going to actually do this with you and kind of role play this with you and help you. And we'll break out in little rooms and we're going to get this done. I'm going to give you what I have and be like, okay, what is Stefan's? What is Jeff's? What is Michael and Juan, what are yours? And we're going to get it done. We're not going to be talking like, oh, you could do this. Like, no, get it done. You have 30 minutes and we're going to walk out having given you an extreme makeover. Now, some of you are like, give me the name of the girl that can just do this for me or the guy that can do this for me, please. I get it. I get it. But here's the thing. You guys have a chance to win so big right now with not only grabbing data, but then creating SEO that nobody else is probably going to do. And, you know, you guys know our office of 500 plus agents, you guys are the only one on this the Zoom right now. You guys have such an unfair advantage right now. I hope you take it. I hope you take it. Now, videos. Let's talk about the videos you're going to make. First of all, the video I would make is I can help you buy a home safely during COVID, and I can help you sell a home safely during COVID. And you do like a 30-second to 1 minute, 30-second soundbite of how, and then you have a long video that you maybe go into detail on the different processes or steps, or you make a playlist around it and you break down the steps into like 2-minute sound bites. But that would be what I would run at right now. And it would be how to buy and how to sell safely. Now, second to that is you guys have this little device in your hand, like it's an appendage, right? Who does not have their phone within arm's reach? Let's be honest. You got to start busting out this bad boy when you get a chance. So let's just say you have to go check out a property for someone today. Use this and get a little vid and have a playlist for sneak peeks or property previews and share that. You know, have a neighborhood video for the area that you want to dominate. Pay someone with a drone photographer to go zoom around and capture video for you. Get this in there and use the SEO to your advantage. And you guys could crush the universe right now. You really could. And many of you have content. So Dana, I see you on, so I'm going to pick on you. Judy has a lot of video from all of her listings, but we learned a lesson, didn't we? Because she had different great videographers, different photographers, different companies that she had worked with in the past. And they literally shared, you know, they went out and did the video for her, right? And then they shared it from their YouTube channel, not hers. Okay. Who here has
I
done?
was just in the process of getting them all back.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So if you've ever hired a videographer or photographer, they usually send you a link, right? Or they send you all the files. You know, it depends on, you know, their tech skills specifically. Many of you have just been sharing the link. Well, what you're doing is you're building SEO for that videographer. So what you need to do is you need to upload that to your YouTube channel and share from there. So the SEO is going to you. Every company that I'm aware of builds their own SEO. And you guys are thinking, okay, I got that done. I'm just going to get the video out. I'm going to throw it on Facebook. I'm going to do, you know, you're going through the motions, but you're giving away your SEO, right? And it's so simple. So I'm going to show you how to hijack your video back. Okay. Because I think many of you probably have videos that you're like, oh my God, we had like 7 different listings we did videos for, you know, you think, wow, I wasted all that chance. It's not lost. You just need to go into YouTube, and I'm just going to show you. Let's just say we went into videos. Let's go into, I'm just going to bring up Judy Post. What do you get there? What do you, I'm in mine. Let me get out of mine. Dana, what is the name of your YouTube channel? Like, what do you guys have it under?
It's under Judy Pope's team.
Okay. So let me just go to YouTube. I got you guys in the way. Let me just move here. Judy Pope's team. So she has this really great video that she had professionally made, spent a fortune on it. People have done them. And it was living on the other guy's site. So what we had to do is we had to go find, do you remember what his was so I could find it?
You know, I just got the video and I can't remember what it's called or what his name
I'm just
was.
gonna, let's just pretend it's this. Okay, let's just pretend it, oh, it's this one right here.
Yeah, that's it right there.
This one right here. So she spent a fortune on this video.
And it's got 5,000 views on this guy's page.
Yeah, so we brought this guy 5,000 views. Now, so how does Judy get her video back? Let me just show you. You literally can just go and save this video onto your own channel. Just save as and just put it in one of your playlists. These are my playlists that are showing up. So let's just say I created a new playlist and maybe it's waterfront neighborhoods. You know, or, you know, whatever you guys want it to be, but waterfront neighborhood. All I have to do is hit save and put it to waterfront neighborhoods. And now if I go to my YouTube channel and I go to my playlist, there will be one that's waterfront neighborhoods. I just got to show you all of them. Isn't that crazy? That's how simple it is. Now, there may be a better way to do it. If someone knows a better way, that's a very easy way. I don't know where I put it. Let me just find it because I've got so much stuff going on here. I apologize, guys. Here it is, waterfront neighborhoods. So I've just relinquished this, say, pretend this is my video, and I'll delete it, Dana, so I'm not stealing your video. But now Judy can share it from here. And instead of giving 5,046 views away to this guy named Bob, she can own it. Now you could also download the video and upload it. That would be better. But for some of you,
say, that's what I'm gonna do. I have it downloaded.
That's better. But let's just be honest. We got to track Bob Barnes down for the video, and he was kind of giving her a hassle about giving her the video and all that. And you probably have in your email boxes, guys, from different listings you've done, photos, videos, things like that, that you're like, I don't remember this guy's name or number. Just know you can, you know, if you can't get the contact back, you can steal that. Stefan, do you have a better suggestion?
No, but I had so if you already have, let's say you spend a lot of time on YouTube, or Jessica, you have a lot of YouTube content, and you want to kind of put a little more stuff out on Instagram, a really easy way to do is talk about waterfront property for 30 seconds and like, hey guys, if you want to hear more, check out my YouTube channel, have a banner running that people can click on that. And then you have that person that came from Instagram and now boom, they're checking out your whole playlist on YouTube.
Yeah, because literally, if you go, let me go back to one of my playlists that actually have multiple content. So say, let's just pretend one of my playlists, we'll just pick any playlist. Let me get rid of this video so it doesn't play. Let's just say this one here that has 11 videos right here, the Zillow one. Let's just say this had waterfront property. I can drop you guys at, I could drop you at this playlist, and then you'd see all the other neighborhoods right here. Can you imagine how cool that would be and how much time someone would maybe spend on your YouTube channel? And what is YouTube and Google going to do with your SEO?
Full circle, right?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, ooh, you are good. You're really popular. People love you, and they're just gonna amp you up big time. Yes, Jeff.
I've got one thing to add. I did onboarding yesterday, by the way. That's who I am.
So welcome. It's good to meet you in person finally, or virtually.
Yes. And so what I was going to say, I have a YouTube channel that is it's various things. And the main thing I'm going to say right now is that the title, if you can make it a little clickbait but still professional, that will help a ton. I know everybody's going to look up this video, but that's fine. Don't drop a pen at Planet Fitness. Has like, I made that video. It's got 8 or 9 million videos. If it would have been dropping a pen at Planet Fitness, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. You get a little creative, goes a long ways.
What you say matters.
Yes, yeah. The title, make it something that people want to see. Even capitalization helps a lot too on 1 or 2
Well,
words.
that's what I'm going to tell you. If you look at my notes, and we're going to go back, I'm just going to go back to my YouTube notes. And I know this is really nerdy, but I even tell you to bracket and how you bracket, and just like your title really matters, and how you name it. Like sneak preview, like if you were wanting to get a ton of clicks on a property, instead of putting 123 Main Street, Palm Harbor, Florida, you put 123 Main Street, and then you do like the bracket with sneak peek or sneak preview. Wow, does that boost? It boosts your click through by 76% doing that one little thing. Isn't that crazy? So if you look at my videos, you'll see for the ones that are newer, I started this. So some of these are really old. So let me go to my channel to newer videos here. Make sure I'm okay. You're seeing the right thing. Good. If you go to my videos, you'll see updated. You know, you'll see great advice. It happened, you know, like these kinds of things. Oh, wow. Does that really work? And I thought that was kind of silly, like role play, best practices 2020, and using 2020 and dates really helps too, because people want to, when they're searching, like, let's just say you wanted to search something and you search something like Halloween costumes, for example, and YouTube has like all these Halloween costumes pop up, and one said best of 2020. That's one you're going to click on. It's human nature, isn't it? So in my notes that I'm going to give you guys, I give you some of these little quippy little things, like Jeff was just saying, that makes such a big difference in your click through. And this is through really literally 6 hours of classes. So I feel like I'm such a nerd right now. Oh my God. And I'm still learning. But the thing is this is a huge future for you guys. Both are grabbing the data and grabbing the people and putting them on a good smart plan like Tyler Shields is #1, but just grab the data. You could double your database with only a couple $100 with people that very recently have been acting like a buyer or seller. For you to go find that many potential buyer or sellers, it's not scalable. I don't care how good you are at anything you do, you just can't go collect that many people. So for some of you that maybe have kind of a small database, or you relocated here not too long ago and you don't have a million friends here, this is a really good strategy for you. And the other truth is, some of you don't want to work with people you know. Just, you know, when I coach, I really try to get to you. Like, what are you good at? What are you going to be good at? And a couple of you and I have had this conversation. Some of you will want to work with people you know, and you'll run at that. And some of you will run away from that. You'd rather actually meet with people you just met that are strangers. They're both fine. It's just how you're programmed. So don't worry about it. Just go with it. Don't fight it. If you're one of those folks that don't really want to call your database and ask them if they know anybody that wants to buy or sell a house, and that just makes you want to throw up, this is your approach. And yet I don't know how long we'll have it. Let's be honest. Things are tightening up with our government, and you know what? We do have a really creepy unfair advantage. So let's take it and run with it, right? And I don't know how long this will be. This could be till the end of the year. It could be we have a different president and this is shut down. This could be all of, for another decade we have this. I don't know. But because you have this opportunity now, I want you to run at it. And second, is I really want you guys to build the community that sustains this. Because it's not about, yeah, any one of you could follow this hack. It's actually really simple and get 1 million followers. But his whole point is, who cares about 1 million followers? It's 500 loyal people that check in with you every month and watch your video every month because they find value in what you're sharing about the economic situation of real estate, or how to win an offer in a tight market, or down payment assistance opportunities that might be available, or new stimulus plan things that are coming out because of our economy and the world, right? There's plenty to talk about, you guys. Are you the mayor of your database? Are you owning it? And video is going to be it, because people want connectivity, but they don't want to be close to you. So how am I going to be close to you without seeing you? Like without hanging out with you? Well, this is it, isn't it? You know, and Jeff, you know, as the newest addition to our family, and Stefan only 3 days in, we had to hire you and onboard you and welcome you digitally, didn't we?
We sure did, yes.
It was crazy. I mean, I can't imagine, like, if you would have told me a year ago today that we would have been doing this, I'd be like, whatever. Are you kidding me? That's impossible. And yet we figured it out.
Yeah, if you would have told me a year ago that my hiring interview, we're going to be sitting in my living room, I would have never believed that. And we were sitting in my living room via Zoom.
Yeah.
Times are changing.
Well, and here's the cool thing. There's good in everything, so run at it, because we need it right now, guys, right? We need good. The good I see is I've had the ability to communicate to all of you so much more freely than I ever did. And I'm making myself more and more available. I feel like I'm like the Zoom queen though. And I'm like, God, I need a new haircut. I need some highlights. You know, you get a little self-focused when you're on all day. But in my office, when you come in, you guys, we like ripped it apart. All my furniture is gone. I'm in a studio right now. And yet there's still my little table to meet if you want to meet with me in person, because I do miss people. And yet this is a thing. You're developing your community of the future. You can do that from total strangers by just data grabbing, or you can do that with your database and data grab. You can do anything you want, you guys, but do you see your advantage? Do you guys see it? It's huge, and it's going to have an end. It will. I mean, I think I was watching what the DOJ was talking about yesterday, and they're moving quickly on this. They want to shut Google and Facebook down. Now, I do think it is creepy that they are listening to us and doing all this, but I do feel it's pretty awesome that we have this unfair advantage. So I hope you take advantage. And yet here's the thing. The first 2 team meetings in November, I'm going to break down in a workshop. So we write out, like, what am I going to put in my YouTube? What do I write? Like, you can see what I wrote, but that's what I wrote. What are you going to write? And how might that be different from one segment of your YouTube channel versus another? Because you might have waterfront, you might have luxury, or you might have this neighborhood and this neighborhood. There's different ways you can break it down. I want to kind of brain dump that with you guys as a group. And then I'm going to have little work sessions where you have like 5 minutes to complete. Okay, what tags come to mind? And we're going to just do this together so that literally by the end of that workshop, you can copy, paste, put it in there and be like, okay, every time I add a video now, my SEO is working for me. And I just have to add a nice like little paragraph of the gist of it. You know, I want to try to get things gelling for you. So if you have any input on how I do that, I've got kind of an idea of how I'm going to do that. But if any of you really want to participate with me and get all in on this, let me know. We're going to create a little tribe around this, and we're going to kick everybody's butt, because we're going to be the agents of the future, and everyone else is getting left behind if they're not adapting to this. And I can't tell you, it doesn't matter where you go. You look at any magazine today about what you're supposed to be doing as a realtor, and it's saying this. So this is a good use of your time, only if you're going to do the videos. Okay. So I don't want anyone to do any of these meetings or trainings with me if you're not going to go all in on this, because this is not a kind of in thing. This is a in thing. You're going in and you're going all in, and you're going to make like 2 and 3 videos a week. And here's the thing. You have these babies with you all the time. Videos are like 30 seconds to a minute and a half long, and you're in properties all day long. So every time you go into a property, you need to bust your phone out and do a quick video. And if you're self-conscious, then do the video of the house and do the voice overlay. You don't have to be the center of the universe. And you don't need anything fancy. This is it. You guys all have what you need. There's really not a dollar that you need to invest in this. It's time. Okay. But if you're not going to bother doing 3-4 videos, 2-3-4 videos consistently, week over week over week over week, don't do this. Does that sound fair? Because you're just going to waste time. Okay. Oh, and Kristen, you give a good suggestion. Maybe a selfie stick. Yes. For short people like me with short arms. Yes. Okay. Someone had a question?
I do. I have a question. If you pull that video from someone else's YouTube and then that person deletes their video, does it delete it from your YouTube as well?
Oh, good question. I'm pretty sure it does. So, you know, the goal is obviously to have your own content on, but I'm just thinking of many of you, I mean, Donna, just think of how many virtual tours over the years and photos and videos you've had done. You've got a lot of old content. If you didn't have it, that'd be a way to at least put it on your YouTube channel so that if I went to your YouTube channel, I was impressed, right? Because the truth is, if I go to your YouTube channel and you only have one video on it, am I impressed? No. So it's kind of like you almost have to backload some video just to show you have something.
I know somebody who has videos for sale that works. They used to work for KW, and it's all real estate videos that are of interest that you can brand yourself. That that if anybody's interested, I have a price list and a contact.
That's a good cheat or a good content builder if you want to throw some stuff on. But if you're going to do that, don't do this. If that's if you're not going to use that just to kind of like spruce up the number of videos you have, if that's what you want to do, this isn't for you. This is really about creating a community. Now, playlists, I know I'm a few minutes over, but I just want to say a few things. I actually only got through like a third of what I wanted to talk about. Playlists. You should have some playlists. It might be property sneak peeks. That's really popular, you guys. And you never obviously divulge the address or the details or anything. You just show the property and say, here's a sneak peek once hitting the market. If you know anyone that's looking for a house on the water like this, have them call me. Because again, you're lead generating. You're not giving away all the information, right? Sneak peeks are really good. Top neighborhoods are another. Because remember, we have so many people buying property sight unseen. And we have so many relocating people coming here that don't know what the communities are like. So if you can feature neighborhoods and get deep on that, woo, you could do some good there. Anyone that owns a drone, man, I'd go around and just go drone some cool neighborhoods, get some good content on there and put that on there. I bet you get some good momentum from that. But there's two parts to this conversation today. It's really the data grab plus creating a community. And the way you're going to create a community is through video connecting, especially when we are afar apart, right? We're not hanging out next to each other like we used to be. And because you can get all the SEO with it, it's doing it right on YouTube. It's really that. And you know what? Do whatever is going to do the best for you. If you just want to focus on the Facebook ads right now and get that dialed in first, do that. I'd rather have you do one part well than kind of and then really not get into momentum with anything. Because that's the danger of this, is that you waste time on this, kind of get it set up and then never do anything with it. So for any of you that are going to go all in, I'd love to help you put some accountability around it so that there's deadlines and how many videos are you doing and there's a plan and a strategy. That'll be part of my workshop, is basically you filling out what your strategy and plan is, you filling out like a sheet with what you think your keywords are, and then it's getting that done. And then the next session is having a video ready. So we're going to make this a 2-part workshop for those of you that want to participate. And there's going to be deadlines and you got to get some videos done. Otherwise, again, we're just playing around and not getting anything done. Does that make sense? Okay, so Dana, were you able to get the original video from that Bob Burns or whatever his name is?
I didn't get it from him. No.
But you got it. Okay.
I got it.
Good girl.
I got a way to get it.
Yeah, but just, that's just such a simple thing. I've had so many agents show me their videos. I'm like, oh my God, you're building this guy's SEO over here. Let's get it over here where it belongs, right? So online, whoever thought we would just stay virtual digital as much as we are? It's not going back this way. If anything, it'll maybe go to center. And online SEO is going to be critical, especially with the disappearance of Zillow and Realtor.com and other things that some of us have leaned on in the past. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I already went over, but I'd love an aha or two. What did you guys learn? What's something that you're taking action? Let me hear 2 things before I let you go. Anybody? Anyone learn anything?
Obviously, search engine optimization, keywords are important, how you put those keywords in your videos and creating the content that you actually put in the description, which is actually what your SEO is.
True. Yep, that's exactly it. You just nailed it.
I also like the
definitely.
metrics.
Oh,
I'm
What
sorry.
did you say, Kristen?
sorry.
I said I like the metrics, like the, you know, this is how many leads, this is how many you should be converting, this is how, that's very helpful to me to visualize what I need to do.
Yeah, and if at any point you're not in those metrics, it's just asking us to look at your video. We'll just log in and look at it and tell you what we see you're doing or not doing. What we're finding is when we get creative or make it more complex than we need to, we lose the algorithm. The algorithm's smarter than us, so just let it do its work, right? Don't get too creative. Dana, what were you going to share?
Well, I was going to say right after this, I'm going to go start putting in some of those keywords and YouTube and everything. But I also like the idea of doing sneak peek videos. I'm wanting to get everyone to get used to turning their phone on when they get into their properties.
Yep, and remember, zip it. You're not telling the details of the property.
Right.
You're like, check out, and you're talking about the features of the property, and then it's appropriate. And then they have a reason to call you. So don't sneak peek it and give it all away. No one will call you.
Right.
Right? Yeah, so you might role model that, and maybe Dana, since you're leading that team, you might say, hey, if you're in a property for the next couple of weeks, I want you to think, making it, what quick 30-second video are you going to send me? And you know what you can do, Dana, is you can have them just send it to you, and then you can upload it into YouTube. And just what I do is I put everything as unpublished. I just upload. And then when I'm doing video work, I just go to my YouTube channel and I, finesse those titles and the little thises and that I might add, and then I publish it, and then I know it's done. So everything's just stored in my YouTube channel until I'm ready. And that way I'm not wasting time doing video all day, every day, because that's not efficient. It's more purposeful.
Yeah, I've already got Darlene now sending me photo or video every time she goes out to a house. She just
Okay,
sends me
so
to her phone.
you got one already going, so you're doing good. Way to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot an email to the entire office with the notes from Facebook and YouTube best practices. That's where all my notes that I showed you is going to be. So that'll go in an email a little bit later today for you guys. Okay. Okay, we'll jump into the workshops. I'll get more specific in what I'm going to do. But yet think about which avenue you want to tackle. And I will also be doing a class on ISAs for those of you that want to take advantage of an ISA. Some of you are already doing it. Some of you want to get into it. I'll do some ISA training as well, so you can see how that works. If you have any other recommendations of what we could be doing for training, we're actually looking for ideas. So if you're passionate about anything or want more info on anything in particular, please reach out. Have a good rest of your day, guys. See ya.